Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ongoing Mastery Presenting and Speaking, the early morning edition. I'm
Why
Kirsten
is it the
Rourke,
early morning edition?
because I'm in Nevada instead of in Massachusetts, and I'm flying to
And why are
Houston
you
in 2 hours.
why are you in Nevada, Kirsten? Do tell.
So the Adobe Learning Summit is an event that is back now, and I got to see my original speaker family, which is awesome. I got to see Dr. Alan Partridge and Pooja, who I spoke with like 100 years ago, and then all my buds, and oh God, it was wonderful. And it's really good attendees. Um, it, it's in the Mirage, and so,
Fancy.
Vegas, you get to see some stuff. I did um, attempt to play roulette briefly, and then I attempted to play blackjack briefly, and I got schooled very nicely by a man who was trying to help me not make an ass of myself, and so that didn't work, and I lost a small amount of money and then went to bed. So all good.
That seems like a wise choice to quit while you're not too far behind.
Yeah, I take out a small amount of money and I go until I lose it, which
Yeah.
sometimes takes an hour, sometimes takes two. This time it took 17 minutes. So
Yay, a new record.
but last night I went out with most of my friends, and about five of them couldn't be there, but the rest could be there, and we went to a lovely restaurant, which was a higher price point than I realized it would be. So I feel a little weird about that, but it was still fabulous, and I got to have amazing food and sit with wonderful people, and we talked for hours, and it was wonderful. So the conference is Adobe's e-learning summit. So it's basically it's Captivate, it's all the other Adobe related e-learning products, and we had there was two keynotes. I saw one of them, and just kind of that's how it's going. Obviously, you can tell by my voice that I'm a little sleepy, but I took some advice from our dearly beloved Bobby of Innovation Women, and I got throat coat tea
Yes.
because uh, yesterday or the day before, all the days run together now. One of my speaker buddies was having a rough throat, and so I said, "Oh, you need throat coat tea. Bobby says it's the best. I will go find some."
Oh.
So I went on a mission, and I ended up door dashing throat coat tea to the hotel. And I had two boxes, and I was so proud of myself. And I went back and I'm handing it to all the speakers, and I'm like, "You must have this. You must have this. You must have this. Here, you have to have some." And it was just I was momming, so it was fun.
Note
So
to event organizers, include throat coat tea in your speaker goodie bag.
yes, and I want to give a special shout out to Carasoft and specifically uh, Anna Flynn, who is. I mean, the Carasoft team were four kick-ass, wonderful people, and Anna is a buddy of mine that I've known for years now, and they were coming in to help Adobe run the event, and they're very, very good at running events. So they ended up covering a little more than was intended and doing a lot of filling in and patching because it was back after the pandemic, first time, kind of rough. Uh, so they did an awesome job. And the Adobe people are huge-hearted, wonderful folks who were just like, okay, what can we do? What can we put on? And so it was good to be back.
Well, I want to know, what did you talk about? You're not there just as an attendee, you're there as a speaker.
That's true. So I had a specific session on taking a storyboard to a finished project in Adobe Captivate in an hour. And so I did that session and ended up because of technical issues, our thing is pivot in the moment, right? So I started off with my normal thing. I put on music. So I was rocking the pentatonics, and I was up in front of the room doing my little dancing around, being a goofball so that people knew what they were getting because it was 9 o'clock in the morning and it's Vegas. So I'm like, okay, come on in. And I got a full room and then started out and there was enough issues with the version and the exercise files and things that I, within 15 minutes, was like, okay, so we're shifting a little and I'm doing this. And I just morphed the class into something else, and I did part of it as a demo and then showed them what needed to be, you know I needed to show them. And then in the Q&A, I did a full bring it. What do you want to know about Captivate? And so I went into all bells and whistles and little stuff, and I showed them how to customize the workspace and bring panels to another monitor, and that actually got applause. So I was very happy. I was very, very
Nice.
happy. It was fun. There's also a upcoming software. The next iteration of Captivate is called Project Charm. And for
Ooh.
now, Captivate itself is going to remain. It's going to become classic Captivate. It's going to exist for a while. And
Wait, wait,
Project
wait.
Charm is, yeah,
Classic Captivate? Is this like Coke Classic?
it is. It is like Coke Classic. It's going to be a little weird. So
Okay.
Captivate 2019 is the current version. It's probably going to be called Classic Captivate, I'm suspecting, because that's how Adobe rolls. And that's going to exist. And then Project Charm is the new responsive version of Captivate that's in sort of a early beta. And so we had a test kitchen of users being able to come in and work with it under heavy NDA. So they can't talk about it.
Neat.
And so they got to experience it, and I helped out with that. And then my buddy Ellen Partridge, who is the lead evangelist and like the master of ceremonies and Captain Wonderful, at one point I kind of went up to him and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I got nothing else to do. And he goes, well, I told them to have you facilitate a bunch of stuff. And I said, nope, nope, nobody reached out. And he literally turned, reached out, grabbed a Adobe person in a black shirt, pulled him over and said, this is Kirsten. She should be facilitating tomorrow. Make that. And the guy went, okay, and started handing me papers. And
Wow.
so the next day, I'm facilitating in this room, which was a workshop, and it was great because it was round tables of, okay, here's your case study, and you need to sit down and figure out how you're going to hit these objectives, and then you got a 5-minute presentation to give the room, and the winners earn prizes.
Wait,
And it was fun
winners
as
earn
hell.
prizes?
Winners earn prizes. It was awesome.
I want to know what kind of prizes.
It was honestly, I saw the box, but I think it was a drink kit. Like it was a little, sort of mix kit. But there was enough for two. We had 4 groups, so 2 groups got to win, and so that was lovely. And everybody did really well, and I
Nice.
was kind of the hitter to do extra analysis. So everybody got to rate everyone else, and then I'm doing deeper review to be a tiebreaker, but we didn't
Hmm.
need a tiebreaker. So at the end, I kind of walked up to a couple people and I pointed at one person and said, are you doing public speaking? And he said, no. I said, you need to think about that. You've got natural
Nice.
gift, so you should be doing it. And this guy is like, what? And then everyone at his table is nodding. And I'm like, no, dude, seriously. Like, you need look for a Toastmasters or something. You should branch into that. And then was kind of telling other people like, here's what you did amazing, by the way, this was really creative, and kind of giving people their bits. Because what blew my mind about this group, and these are people who came back after a long session, so
Yeah.
these were the people who are really like ready to go. But normally for new speakers or people who aren't speakers, you get the flush of the face, and you
Yeah.
get stammering, you get the body language, and you get the ums. I had a remarkable low number of ums.
Wow.
Really remarkable. Like I was ticking it off on a paper going, whoa, okay. And then I was looking for the body language, and I
Mhm.
was looking for the lack of eye contact and the sweating. I didn't see any of it. Like there were
Nice.
only there was only 1 or 2 experienced people in that room for public speaking, but everybody did a beautiful job. And I was just like, oh, awesome. So I went around kind of going, yes, yes, you rock, you rock, you rock, because we want everybody to be able to do this. So
That was
that was fun.
impressive.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. So I
And
was I was pleased.
kudos to you for taking the opportunity to do extra and sort of point out this is what's really succeeding in what you were doing. That's not the point of the session we're having,
Yeah.
but I'm going to give you this feedback on top of the point of what we're doing in the workshop. I think that's really cool.
Well, it was lovely because the you know basically I had permission to do that, so that was amazing. And I'm just like, ooh, people who could be part of the family, come on in. Because at dinner last night I was saying at several points I literally, and this will work for the video people but not for the folks who are listening to the audio, so just imagine, at several moments my face went into like Disney Princess Bliss of like, ah, because I was like, just I had my drink and my wonderful dinner and my people, and I was so happy. And Josh Cavalier is on the other side of the table looking at me, cracking up. And he's like, "You look happy." And I'm like, "I'm with my speaker family. I'm so happy." Because these are my original speaker friends. I mean, I've known these folks forever. And so it was just like, oh, I get to be with my family again. Because as Innovation Women, Bobby Carlton says, speakers need speaker friends. Well, only speakers really understand what speakers do.
Hmm.
Like everybody tries to understand, but unless you do it, you don't really get it. Like I spoke on Thursday and Wednesday, everyone's saying, "Oh, your session's tomorrow." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, it's going to be great. I'm going to." And I was totally calm, which was weird. And a little part of me was going, "Where's the nerves? Where's the
Mm.
nerves? What's going on?" And people are like, "You ready for tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's going to be awesome." They're like, "You nervous?" I'm like, "No, it's all good." And a few of my speaker friends looked at me and were like, interesting. And they didn't say anything. And I was kind of a little part of me worried, going, that's not it. That's not cool. Because you have nerves, right?
Yeah.
So just like, okay, woke up Thursday morning in a dead panic and went, oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Hello, nerves.
Your
And I
nerves
was
were jet lagged. They hadn't caught up yet.
exactly. And I woke up at 5:30 on
Oh,
Thursday morning and
oh
was
dear.
like, all right, I'm speaking today. Okay. Okay. And I was pumped, right? So when I get into the room, I'm like, I have enough energy that my hands are starting to shake, right? Because that's
Oh,
kind of what happens. So I put
whoa.
on my music and I start dancing and I'm doing my thing because I can't just stand there
No.
quietly. Welcome to the room. Please come in and sit down. No, I mean, no, you can't do that. So I'm like, come on in, party's fine. Yeah, let's go. And I put up on the slide, I'm your cruise director. So I said, yes, we will be doing shuffleboard on the Lido deck. Everyone, please bring your drinks because the bartender is not so good. And, just starting the party. And it was fun. It was fun. I love doing this, and I got to do several things and sit in on people's sessions and see my other, see my buddies work. I saw the keynote and I cannot help but be me about it. I started taking notes on what I would change. Like I was like, this is good, this is good. Keep that slide, ditch that. No, don't do that. And I could not help it. And so at one point, we're doing a cocktail hour, and one of my dear friends from Adobe said, "So what did you think?" And I said, "Well, I think she did really well. I would give her 20 minutes of coaching." And he went, "Really? On what?" And I'm like, "She needs to breathe. She needs to breathe because she came out at 11. She came out at
Oh,
energy, full tilt, and she stayed at 10.5 the entire time."
oh, oh
And I
dear.
was like, no, no,
Oh,
you need to stop, breathe, let the energy go down, then bring back up. You need to wave. It needs to be waves, not.
yeah.
And he goes, well, people were really enjoying it. I said, yes. And it also made some of us tired. And he
Hmm.
went, really? And I'm like, I am extra picky. Please understand, I am not the normal. So do not go by me. But yeah, I would give her 20 minutes of very specific coaching. And like, this was awesome. That was awesome. That was amazing. And breathe,
Yeah.
honey. Just stop. Literally let 2 minutes of, not 2 minutes, 2 seconds of silence happen. It will not kill you.
Yeah.
And then come back in because the audience needs it. The audience
Absolutely.
needs it as much as you do. And she was wonderful. She's gorgeous. She's super fit. She's got energy. She's charismatic. Like, she had the good stories. Like she nailed so much of it. So it was just funny because people were like, "What did you think?" And I'm like, "Well, I took notes." Like,
Here they are.
here they are. Here's my notes. So yeah.
So I don't think I'm going to ask you what was your favorite moment because I think you probably couldn't pick one. But
No.
I want to ask you what was the most surprising about this trip for you?
I think the most surprising thing was how much it felt like I had seen Josh and Debbie and Dawn and Kevin, and Damien, and I'm missing people's names like Joe. I'm like I'm gonna drop people's names off, and I apologize, but um, my God, it felt like I'd seen them last week,
That's
like
wonderful.
just within a moment. I mean, one of my dear buddies, Damien, is this lovely, lovely man. And he, when I first met him, he's an affectionate, he's a wonderful kind of theatrical person, but he's not like theatrical at my level. He's normal person theatrical. And so when I met him, he was this very nice, sweet, upright, you know, man from Belgium. And Anita introduced me to him, and I threw my arms around him and gave him a hug because I forgot I had never met him before. Like Anita introduced him, so he's family, right? And he stood there, and he stood there with his arms pinned, and he went, "I'm Belgian. I don't know you. What's your name?" And I
Oh,
went, "Oh my God, I'm
awkward.
so sorry." And I backed off, and I was like mortified. And he's like, "No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine." And I thought, "Oh my God, I epically screwed this up." And not even half an hour later, he's like going, "Well, do I get another hug?" Like he was just lovely. He kind of rolled with it. And he's like, "No, I'm
Fabulous.
not. I'm, in Belgium, we're not quite used to that." I'm like, "They're not used to it in America either." I'm like, it's not a Brussels thing." And then the next event, and this was, I don't know, 12 years ago, um, I walked in the room and I see him across the room, and he goes, "Where's my hug?" And he's done that every event since. And I'm
Oh,
like,
I love that.
yes, it's my buddy, it's my Damien. And it was just wonderful. So we were busting his ass this time because Anita and I both decided that we would officially dub him the unofficial boyfriend of the event. And he's like, I have a girlfriend and I would never. I'm like, no, 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 we're not talking that. You are not being passed around. That is not this kind of event.
Oh dear.
No,
Oh, no, no, no,
no,
no, no.
no. This is the unofficial like fully monogamous, has a relationship somewhere, with an awesome woman. His girlfriend's amazing. But we were just busting his chops, going, "No, you're the official Adobe boyfriend. We've decided." And he was like, "Hmm, I don't know. I have to think about that." It was great.
Okay. Well,
He's like determining whether that's going to be a thing,
the unofficial motto of Vegas, what stays and happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
unless you talk about it on a podcast.
Unless you talk about it on podcast, there's that.
Yeah.
Um, but speaking of podcast, are we gonna preview what's coming up, or are we gonna save that for next time?
Uh, I think we're going to save everything except that we have some really fun interviews,
Yeah.
and we have a demo of a coaching session. And I will be able to talk about what I'm doing tomorrow. So
Hmm.
it's 7:46 in the morning in Vegas right now. I
Wow.
am going to pack. I'm going to head for the airport. I'm going to get on a plane and fly to Houston. And then tomorrow I'm recording my first ever TEDx. And
Yay!
yay! And when that is, I'm manifesting the positive. When that's
Yes.
accepted by the TED board officially and is put up and is allowed to be public, um, then I'm going to be broadcasting that sucker everywhere. Like I'm going to buy
Plaster.
billboards with
Yeah.
video on it. Like I'm going to skywriting, go to TEDx and watch. Um, so I'm going to be sharing it with everybody because that's the thing that today, until I pass out in my hotel from just sheer exhaustion, I'm going to be running that speech in my head and the poor people on the airplane because I will be doing the all right, step to the right, hands like this, hands in, reach out, da da. Okay, da da. Because I want all of it, right?
Yeah.
So I need to make sure my face is doing the right thing, my
Hmm.
hands are communicating the right way, my body is doing the right thing, the words are get inflected correctly. Like
Yep.
I'm trying to make sure the whole package is right. And I was telling everybody at dinner, well, oh God, I told them more than once because I repeat myself, that my brain is evil. And as you know, I have negative self talk and I named her Becky. So my Becky in the back of my brain is the mean girl that likes to sneak up and say nasty crap. So 2 days ago, Becky spoke up and went, you're doing a TEDx and they're going to hate you. And then everyone will know you're a fraud and no one will hire you for coaching. And
Becky.
I literally was standing in the bathroom here, and this was, yeah. So it's Friday. So 2 days ago, days run together. I'm looking in the mirror, and the poor people in the rooms next to me, I'm literally going, Becky, shut it. And I'm
Good for
putting
you.
on my makeup. I'm like, just shut up. And
Good for
I'm
you.
like, because, oh, my brain just, yep. I'm like, but there's one thing I want to say to everybody who's listening and watching this on video. If you are not part of an established speaker community, there's something you might not be aware of, which is speakers, at least all the ones I've ever met and all the ones that are decent, and with the exception of maybe a few people at the very top ranks who are kind of not awesome human beings, but really good presenters, speakers don't compete with speakers. Speakers
Yeah.
compete with themselves.
Yeah.
So you may want someone's gig, like you may kind of go, oh, I wish I had that, but you're not knocking them off the perch. You're not trying to get their gig. You're trying to get your best version of you.
Yeah.
So the TEDx for me, Becky was saying you have to be the best speaker ever because you're coaching this stuff. So therefore, if people see you and they see you're not the best ever, they're not going to hire you. And it's like, no, I have to be the best version of me. Now,
Yes.
I can be the best me speaker. I cannot be the way, my friends are.
Hmm.
Like every one of us at that table has a distinct style, has a personality when we present, and that is part of the package.
Absolutely.
Um, so like
You're not
Pooja just
everybody's flavor, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Pooja Singh is she's the heart and soul of like our community, and she's just this hug on legs, beautiful, beautiful Indian woman, and just a sweetheart. And she used to be the Adobe evangelist for Captivate, and has moved on to other things, but she's still part of our family, and she still speaks. And her speaking style is this very warm, sweet, friendly, like I said, hug. Like she's a hug personified. I could never do that. I could never. Mine is irreverent. It's
Yeah.
mouthy. It's sarcastic, and
No.
yeah, a little. And and so you can't. Now the downside to my version is that Josh took pictures of me in my session, and every single one of them has me with a different facial expression, none of which are really good photos, but they're all funny because I'm expressive as hell, but my expressions are all like, ugh, yeah, huh, And so I'm doing all these faces, and he's like, oh, look, you're very expressive. I'm like, yes, I am.
Yes, you
I
are.
am that.
Well, I think on that note, we should let you get to the airport and on to the next thing.
Yes, need to pack.
Find
So,
us in the socials. Look for us on LinkedIn in the Ongoing Mastery Presenting and Speaking group.
yes.
And Kirsten, I think you need to close us out.
I think, thank you, everybody. Hugs all around, and I'll see you guys after Houston.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody. See you later. And there we go.